It's all happening. This thing's nicer than my apartment. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. So I got that going for me. Ouija's nice. Ah, Mr. Musk. Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark. She's beauty and she's grace. Hey, you guys!
Captain, I'm surprised.
Well, it may be a surprise to you, but it's been on my mind for weeks. It's just my way of telling you that I love you, that's all.
Of all of us, who's the most sloth-coated?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now.
Hey, I'm
I'll
giving
die
you a
on that.
chance to restart.
I will die on this hill. Sloth did not need to be in this movie, dude.
He didn't.
No, he
At least
really
not in
didn't.
the way he was presented.
It's probably... I mean, like, all of these movies have been problematic. But this is definitely the most problematic thing from this movie.
And especially because everything else was fine. Like, there's not a single... Like, I can't really think of anything. Except, like, I don't know, the kids swear too much, but, like... And then, like it would have been perfectly kosher, even today, if not for the inclusion of Sloth. Hey, ghouls, we should probably mention that we do a podcast, and it's about movies, and why we're watching this movie, and what the name of the podcast is, and what the name of the movie is. Or, I don't know, you clicked on this podcast, you saw the thumbnail. Maybe we don't even have to do that. Who's to say?
Good evening, ghouls.
Good evening, ghouls.
Good evening, ghouls. I'm Alec. I found out I was media illiterate in my 20s. In order to fix that, I thought I would do a podcast with my friends Robert and Becca.
Hi.
Hey.
And we watch movies and stuff and then write poetry about it after. Right now, we're in a series where we're celebrating the death of a specific Pepsi commercial that used to play before all the Regal movies, where people speak to each other in movie quotes. And we're celebrating its death by watching all of those movies in the order they're quoted in that commercial. This episode is The Goonies. And now we get to talk about it. And I'll die on the hill that Sloth should not be in this movie. At least not in his current incarnation. Also, they wait forever to intro Sloth. Like, he's a late addition to this cast.
He's really interesting. He is so, like, iconic. Whenever I think of the Goonies, I think of Sloth first. Like, Sloth and Pirates. And I, in recent years, have been, like, I feel ableist for being scared of Sloth. But rewatching this, I'm like, no, they wanted you to be scared of Sloth.
He's
they
a
present
monster.
him as a monster. And I could not watch this movie without, like, covering my eyes for a really long time because I was conditioned to think that Sloth was, like, a child eater. Like, he was scary to me. He was terrifying. And literally, it's just, like, ableist shit. It's crazy.
I had never seen this movie before, and I had seen pictures of Sloth before, and before, I thought he was a literal mutant monster, like from like a horror movie. Like I didn't know. Like I thought he was an evil
He was
creature.
like a Hills Have Eyes
Yes,
character.
exactly.
Like
I literally thought he was from like some fucking like 80s horror movie. And then when I saw him, I was like, wait, what the fuck? I've seen him before. Like I'm shook that my perception of him is not accurate. You know what I mean?
You know what else is wild? I actively had a friend when I was a child, like at the same time that I would have been watching the Goonies.
Cap.
Yeah, I know, right? But I had a friend who had like, I don't know if she had like cancer. She had some kind of disability in her eye and in her eye socket where it was like, it kind of looked like Sloth's eye. And I wasn't scared of her. So yeah, it was literally just the presentation of Sloth, and that I think it's the tuft of hair for me, actually. It's the tuft of hair on his head.
The first time you hear Sloth, quote unquote, it's a bear growl. Like it's
They use a literal bear growl.
it's an audio clip of a bear screaming or Howling? What do bears do? Vocalizing. I don't know.
Growling, maybe?
I mean, like, growling doesn't do, like, it's like, like, it's...
Yeah. There's a specific kind of, like,
It's a bear yop.
a yop. I think it's scientifically called a yodel, actually.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Anyone want to hit us with a recap?
Sure. I got you.
Fire away.
Okay.
Fire.
So we got this group of kids. Well, first we have a breakout. This family breaks their brother/child out of prison, and you get the kind of feeling that they're like big time criminals. There's a big cop chase that introduces all of the main characters, like the kids in the group, which is, I feel like, very clever.
Very well done.
And then you end up at the main character's house, and you find out that his family, like, is out of money, and they're about to lose their home. It's going to be bulldozed the next day. And their father is he like a museum curator? He's got a bunch of, like, artifacts up in their attic. They're told not to go up
absent
there.
from this movie.
Yeah,
Never
until like
see
the
that
very
guy.
last scene.
Yeah.
Very strange. But they know that they're not supposed to be going around snooping in the stuff, but they're like, fuck it, we're gonna lose our house tomorrow. We have to do something. And so they go upstairs and they're looking around, and then they find a map that belonged to One-Eyed Willie, and he apparently, like, his ship got lost on the Oregon coast hundreds of years ago, and the treasure map is supposed to lead to his sunken treasure, like his ship. And what else would children do except go looking for the treasure? And they find it under the hideout of these big time criminals. So that's where it kind of intersects, as these criminals, like, have the kids, and like, what do we do with these kids? We can't, like, they know who we are. And anyway, shenanigans happen. They find a pathway underneath a fireplace. They meet Sloth, who's locked up in a room, chained. He can hardly speak. You find out that, like, he's not a monster. He's literally just being literally abused by his family. Excuse me. And he becomes best friends with Chunk. There's
Who does the truffle
torture
shuffle?
that happens. He does the truffle shuffle at the beginning. They go down into this cave. They bond. They fight. They kiss. They find a pirate ship and find One-Eye Willie and all of his treasure. But then the bad guys come and take the treasure from them. But then Chunk and Sloth save the day. And Sloth goes, "Hey, you guys." And then he throws his family in the water. And they get away. And the ship gets away. And then they're able to save their house because one of the kids kept some of the gold. And the dad rips up the contract to bulldoze his house. And then the ship with all the treasure and stuff goes out into the Pacific Ocean, and everyone just kind of marvels at it and not thinking about all of the treasure, and that it's an unmanned ship that could be very
Cause
lethal.
massive damages.
But it's whimsical and it's fun and it's adventure.
Like, they look at that ship like it's like Peter Pan, like sailing to Never Never Land or something. Like, it's a large shipwreck, basically, that's going to crash into the shore or a dock or another ship at some point. Like, it's very funny.
This movie
The Coast Guard will get it.
was pretty much exactly what I thought this movie was going to be, you know? But, like, not in a bad way. Like, it was just like, it just delivered on the, like, kids on bike.
Kids on bike genre
You know what I mean?
of movie.
Yeah, it just delivered on that perfectly.
I was wondering, because this is for me one of the films that is like extremely nostalgic, like very big in my little childhood brain. Like, this is a huge piece of it, and I don't feel like I've watched it. I've not watched it in a very, very long time. And I don't know. I was wondering how it was as an experience for you. And like, I don't know, you're not blinded by nostalgia, and I feel like I might be, but I don't know, because I feel like it's actually a good movie. But I mean, with some obvious problems, but yeah, what do you think?
It's definitely not going to be like cracking my top 10 or 15 or anything like that. But as far as movies for this miniseries go, it's one of the better ones that we've watched.
It's just a fun little romp.
Yeah, it's just a romp, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it says anything particularly important or like unique, or like even a unique take on the genre, you know what I mean? But it doesn't, I mean, like, it kind of was a genre setter at the time. So I can see why it's important because of that. And like for the generations of people that it affected. For me, seeing it now, I've seen movies that I liked more that were basically the same thing, but they came afterwards, but I saw them personally first, so I like them more, or, you know, I'm more generous towards them because I was a kid or whatever. But I think as far as the genre goes, it's about as like a good example as you can get for like kids on bikes, you know?
Children's adventure, yeah. I just looked up the dates. This was 1985. E.T. was 1982. I'm wondering how old the Children with Bikes adventure genre is, and if Steven Spielberg is responsible for it entirely.
It might just be Steven Spielberg.
Do you think E.T. is like the
I mean, yeah.
father? Like, what is there any?
I think so, because
we can think of?
I think it would be, because I can't. First of all, I can't think of anything older than that right now, but also because that's like the
I mean, Stephen King.
E.T.
Stephen King was doing kids on bike stuff in like the 70s. Sure. You know what I mean?
True, true.
You're right.
Because when did it come out? I think it came out in like 79. I think. Let me see.
I've never seen it.
That do be kids on bike adventure.
That
it's
is
definitely
one of the
like the Spielberg angle is more like family friendly, obviously.
So
but
it came out in 86.
Oh, damn.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So we are, it's a year after Goonies and 4 years after E.T.
Because, I mean, he wrote certain things, but, like, as far as Kids on Bike goes, I feel like it is probably the most Kids on Bike thing that Stephen King has. That came out in 86. He had earlier books, like The Shining was 77 and The Stand was 78, but that's not really this genre.
It's
you know
not
what
Kids
I mean?
on Bikes.
Kids on Bike adventure genre is so specific. And, like, so specific that you can even see the movies being made now that are supposed to be these movies. You know
Stranger
what I mean?
Things.
Like, your Stranger Things, your Super 8s, you know?
God, I love Super 8.
Super 8 was fun.
I don't even know if it's a good movie. I just love it.
I like it a lot. But something I was impressed with this movie is that it's 1985, and I didn't feel like there were racist caricatures.
Which is cool.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Like, you've got, like, any of these kids could have been any race, and it wouldn't have mattered. Like, obviously, we've got Data, and I love him so much. He's just a baby.
But their thing is that they were, like, inventors. It's not like their thing was they're Asian.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Which is so fucking different.
The thing, like, what I was expecting, like, rewatching this, was I was like, oh, shit. Like, Data is the inventor, so they're going to be like, he's Chinese, so he's smart, kind of thing. But it was just, he's an inventor, and like,
they didn't really go down that route.
And
just
they had him
and
they had him speak Cantonese with his family, like, at the end, and it wasn't like
that whips.
It wasn't weird. Like, I don't know, it wasn't like racist and like strange. I don't know. I really.
That's why, like, when we watch those movies in the early 2000s, it's like, it was a different time. I'm like, okay, but like the Goonies came out.
If they wanted to, they would.
Yeah.
If they wanted to, they would.
No, absolutely. Like, as a history major, like, we talk about, like, how shitty, like, the founding fathers were in slavery and things like that. And you have your Prager University, Turning Point USA shitheads that are just like, oh, you have to grade on a curve. Like, it was a different time. Don't be an ugly tourist in the past. And then you can find, like cats like...
Wasn't, like,
Paul
John
Revere.
Hancock?
Or like Benjamin Franklin, who were just like, yeah, this is fucked. Like, it was shitty back then, too. Just because a lot of people were doing it and like that it was widely acceptable doesn't mean that they didn't know it was shitty and wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. They do have the cleaning lady who can't speak English, who only speaks Spanish. So maybe.
Well, like, cleanly ladies. That's the truth. No.
Stop. Oh, my God.
And if you kick all of the cleaning ladies out of the country, Donald Trump, who is going to do your Spanish language bit in the Goonies? In the sense that...
Yeah. I don't think...
Yeah, I guess that one's not...
It's
like,
not the best.
Gold
It's
star.
not the best.
But she's not portrayed as being dumb or anything like that. Like,
No.
cleaning ladies exist. A lot of them are Spanish speaking. It's not fantastic that the only Spanish speaking lady in the movie is a cleaning lady, but it's a pretty banal example for me personally, especially because she finds the jewels at the end of the movies and she's responsible for keeping the dad from signing the paperwork, you know? So,
she plays a part, and I don't feel like her part is like... I don't feel like it's like I don't feel like it's a caricature, but I don't know. I am like a young white woman in 2024, so like I don't know. I feel like it wasn't really a caricature. I feel like she was there to have that like language bit at the beginning because someone thought it would be funny to like have mouth like purposefully.
Well, it's a plot point.
Sure.
And it's
right,
you know what I mean?
is,
Like
yeah.
that's his part in the role is that like
Right.
he speaks Spanish and these are Spaniard pirates, so it
he
like
can interpret
it's an actual
Right,
yeah,
right,
the
that's
map,
right.
yeah.
That's
gives him
right.
a purpose, which is cool.
Introduces that.
Whatever happened, I don't know. I'm not like a race studies major or like sociologist or whatever. All I know is nothing made me wince in this movie except for Sloth.
Except for Sloth.
Like and that's how I grade it. You know what I mean? Like nothing made me like, ugh. Like, was it, I don't know, like an Oscar-worthy A24 movie in which this, like, the trials and tribulations of Mexican cleaning ladies is thoroughly examined? No, it's not. But, like, I don't know. It's just, it was fine. Like, I'm willing to put down my woke brain for a second and just enjoy a kid's romp.
Yeah.
Romp.
I don't think we didn't really get a whole lot of like black perspective.
No.
So that is something like it wasn't like outwardly like racist towards black people, but there also just wasn't black people in it, which isn't good either.
Exclusion is still racism.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But yeah, there's definitely movies that were made after this that have been worse that we've watched on this.
It's true.
On that scale. So I was pretty impressed for its time period, anyways. Who's your favorite Goonie?
Data. Baby.
He's pretty baby.
He's
I
pretty
feel like
baby.
it has to be Data, no? Like, Chunk is annoying.
He, like, oh my god.
I had forgotten how annoying he was. He's the
God,
one that
like-
just yells.
He's got
yelling
like that
constantly.
raspy yell. Like, come on, guys! Like,
he's like the little brother in A Christmas Story.
yeah.
Come on, guys, help us!
Becca just clips so hard.
Yeah, we're on Discord and Becca just clipped the fuck out for us.
Yeah, he's annoying, like, in the same way that, like, anime protagonists are annoying. But, you know. I liked the main guy. I liked his little storyline of him, like talking to One-Eyed Willie.
That
was
was
fun.
confusing for me. Like, he had, like, this spiritual connection with One-Eyed Willie as though he were, like, channeling his ghost or some shit.
He was, dude. That's
Like,
the
he
whole
was talking
point.
to him, yeah.
I
don't know.
I liked
liked it.
Did I miss something? Like,
No, it's just like him thinking
No.
out loud, and he's like, "Come on, Willie! Like, what were you thinking?" Like, he's just trying to get into the head of One-Eyed Willie.
It's preparing him to guide Frodo to Mount Doom.
Yeah. Such a small Sean. And what's his name? Sean
Sean Astin.
Astin. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Josh
it right now.
Brolin and
Yeah.
You got
Weird.
Thanos. You got freaking Wayman.
Wayman, yep.
You got Samwise. It's crazy. They're all just babies.
And I think location is fun. I think
Yes.
Cannon Beach.
And
the setting that it's in is fun.
The set
Cannon
is so
Beach
good.
is fun. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was working up to. Like the pirate ship, like the like all of the Indiana Jones traps.
Rube
the
Goldberg machines.
Yeah, the Rube Goldberg machines are very fun. The fucking pirate bone organ
Yeah, that was
is
crazy.
like it's so fucking extra, but like I can't find
can't
it
be
in
mad
myself
at it,
to be
you
mad
know?
about it. Yeah.
Right, and like there was so many things that we were like, wow, as if, or like, okay, that was cheesy, but like it's not. I don't know. It's
The
the
cheese
point
is
of
the
the
point.
movie. the point of the movie is so that kids could relate to Indiana Jones and like have their own adventure instead of just having to watch like I'm gonna be like him when I grow up. It's like you could be that now. Like
Yeah.
you can do what you want now. Like you don't have to wait until you're like all grown up, because then by that point you don't even want to be that anymore, and all you've done is spent your whole life like wishing you were something that you're never end up being. So like I think that's kind of the point in a way too, because Mikey is like he's like obviously super sad that he's gonna have to move, but throughout like he just gets closer and closer to the idea of like, okay, but if I don't do this now, when am I going to do it? Like, I want to have an adventure, and if I don't do it now, I'm never going to. And I think that is, like, the biggest, like, theme for me. Like, if we had to do, like, a literary theme, or, like, a meaning for the movie, it would be the idea of, like, if not now, when? Like, it's never going to happen if I don't do it. And, I don't know. I felt like it was really well done because Mikey isn't necessarily like super brave either. Like he also questions it several times before they actually go in. And I don't know. I feel like they all have to like push through it together and lean on each other to get to where they are in the end. And I don't know. It's like life is full of hard choices, and if you want to accomplish a goal you have to see it through, but it's not always going to be easy no matter how hard you want it. It's not always going to be something you want to go through no matter how hard you want it.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that just the way?
Just the way.
Another little note. I just Googled it. Budget for Goonies was $19 million. Made a cold $125 at the box office. Extremely successful.
Wow.
Hell yeah, it did.
Good for them.
Honestly.
Like 6 times its budget.
Yeah, and like for a movie to be considered successful, it basically has to make like 2.5 for it to be considered like a box office hit, and that's, well past that mark, so.
What do we think of the quote?
I mean, it's probably the only one.
Is it the climax? I mean, what else would they say? Like
Also, he
the
says
truffle
it twice.
shuffle? Like you
He
can't
does
really
say
put
it
that in a
twice.
Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, because I think the truffle shuffle, even I knew what that was without seeing the movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, what are you gonna, how do you put that into a movie trailer or Pepsi commercial,
Right. I think, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's the obvious choice. I also never realized when I was a kid why he's wearing the Superman shirt. And it kind of made me, like, want to cry. Because he's like, it's an S. It's an S for sloth. And he saves the day.
Aw.
And it's just like, oh, it's so baby. I don't know. It's so cute. I
Becca
never
Sloth
realized
build.
that. Not anymore. Well, maybe. Who knows? I was so terrified, dude. Like, I cannot tell you. Like, Sloth was the monster under my bed, and it was particularly
Sloth or E.T., which one was scarier?
It was, oh man, that's a hard choice. I want to say E.T. I want to say E.T. because I couldn't even watch E.T.
Sloth could bench 6 ETs.
I know.
It's
but
crazy that you're more afraid of ET than Sloth. Sloth is terrifying. Also, quick note.
His hair, his tuft of hair.
When Sloth emotes, his ears wiggle. I want to know who was responsible for like the ear wiggle rig. You know what I mean? Like, are these like motor actualized? Are they like little pulleys that somebody's like pulling through the prosthetics? Like, I want to know.
It has to be motorized.
How the ear wiggling happens.
Because his face on that side, I guess the whole point is that he was dropped on his head, and so he was squished on that side of his face. But like, the prosthetics on that side are so huge, and it's almost really constantly wiggling. So like, I'm feeling like it had to have been like a mechanism, but I don't know. Let's look it up, honestly.
Nah, let's just keep it a mystery.
Yo, the Goonies 4K trailer, Warner Brothers Entertainment. Goonies in 4K.
It's so unfortunate what's happened to the word goon.
Yeah. Can't really go into much detail.
If you don't know what gooning is, dear audience, then no, don't Google it. I envy you. Keep living your life however you're currently doing so. All right, you rat bastards. Let's rate this on Letterboxd and write poems about it, huh?
Purr.
All right, where'd you guys put
land
it?
on the Letterboxd, boys.
It actually landed lower.
My fucking head.
It landed lower for me than I thought it would. I have it at 48 over the Garden Wall, but above Guardians of the Galaxy, which feels low. But like, I don't know.
Garden Wall's way low for you.
Right.
Yeah, I like 3 episodes of Over the Garden Wall really like a lot, and then the rest of them are kind of like whatever for me. But
well, you know, we can tolerate a certain amount of haterach or.
Yeah.
Here it is. Yep. I just gotta resign myself to that L when you stutter in the middle of a roast. You cut this part out.
Oh, I'm not good. This is gonna be the Instagram clip, my friend.
No, don't do it, please. The haters, the ops are gonna get me, dude. They're sleeping on it. I'm factory rebooted right now, and I don't even know where we are or where I am.
Where's Goonies on the list?
Oh yeah, 42. It's solidly in my B tier, above Talk to Me and below Past Lives. Very different movies.
Very different movies, all 3 of them.
Mine is, my list obviously doesn't matter.
We need a jingle for that.
Doesn't make any sense. But
let's put it on a soundboard.
Becca's meaningless list.
It's at number 35, below Akira and above Creed 3. I don't know why Creed 3 is that high.
How did you list? How are you pissing off me and Alec with that placement? That's crazy.
This give me fucking heartburn.
Creed 3 is so good.
But it's not like
Creed 3 is 18 for me. I fucking love that movie.
He's a sportsman. He just watched the Super Bowl, and I forgot it was happening.
It was a great Super Bowl.
I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't be able to tell you if I watched it.
Ironically, Akira is right below Creed 3 for me, so that's kind of interesting. All right, who's going first with the poem?
Well, Past Lives is in my top 5, I think. So
Past Lives is 14 for me.
It's 3 for me. So Alec can.
I love Past Lives. I love the soundtrack for Past Lives so much. I listen to it frequently when I'm doing homework.
I think about that movie to this day, just like every day.
To this day.
Okay.
You're Asian, so that makes sense.
Who's going first?
I'm gonna go first. My poem didn't super sing for me, so I want to get it out of the way. Which of these pirates did engineering? Who died to make the bone organ? How did they sail this ship into a cave with no exit? Why sail a ship with treasures into a cave where they can't be used? Leave it be, friend. Let go and let the wind's mischief take you. Recapture the golden joy of a child, a coin at the bottom of a well. No one asks a fairy how when she shares her tale.
Nice.
Strong ending. Like that. All right, I can go next. We always make mistakes. We play songs through whistle. Sorry.
You know you make mistakes. Fucking idiot.
I literally just said we always make mistakes, dude. It's part of the poem.
I was teeing myself up.
I'm not restarting. This is
still
part
the
of the poem.
I've written this out. I'll screen share right now. This is still the poem.
We always make mistakes. We play songs through whistling bones and carry doubloons in marble bags. We torture our siblings, run children off the road, and purposely mistranslate just for the fucking laugh. Light off fireworks for sleeping strangers at the park, run on walls to avoid the cops, and throw flaming nail polish into the air. We self-harm with razor blades and cancer, but of all the painfully post-pubescent things we do, we never fucking die.
God damn! You really brought the past into that shit. He didn't have to do that.
Oh,
He didn't have to do that at all.
Okay, go back up.
It's due west of the waning world, just before tomorrow, sunk beneath the setting sun and holding out on sorrow. It's up the stairs and to the left, hidden with our memories of golden days and endless play that found us through the centuries. It's not out there beyond horizons our eyes will never see. It's here, it's now, but fleeting somehow. It's you, it's me.
Aw.
Alex?
Good job, Ghouls.
There you have it.
Robert should have gone last.
I was feeling myself. I like that one. That one got me into good headspace.
He said kids on bikes, and then he said, I am kids on bikes.
We were the kids,
We were
on,
kids
bikes.
on bikes.
We were those fucking kids. Yeah. That one's dedicated to all the boys. All the boys. Chase, Jaden, Travis. No one else. No.
Good night, Ghouls. Fuck this podcast. We're going to fucking bed. Good night. Go find some goddamn pirate treasure. Good night.
Good night.